Welcome to the Gudfella podcast.
Gudfella. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Salam tena istalling. Welcome, everyone. This is our Gudfella podcast. My name is Milu.
I'm Adiam.
Yes, girl, sis, we did this.
Finally.
I know.
About time.
It was about time. We've been talking about doing this for a while, and so we're really happy to be able to bring this to you guys all the way from the Park Studios, of course.
Shout out to the park.
Of course, always. And this is my sister, my homegirl, and we've been talking about this for a while. She brought the idea to me. I already had the idea, and that's kind of how it came into fruition. And yes, so
synchronized, same vibration.
Exactly. We were on kind of like the same wavelength.
Yes.
And so we kind of had this idea. But, you know, third world countries and things, there are a lot of hurdles.
Lights going off being one of them.
You know, political reasons, internet's going off, like just so much going on. Like
shout out to Tele, shout out to my bratel, you know.
It was all part of the journey and the struggle.
You made it more. You gave us some spice.
Exactly. but we're glad we're here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's what's important, is being present in the now. And in the now, we are here recording this to be able to broadcast to y'all. So we're super stoked.
This is
Gudfella. Exactly. How did you know? I was going to actually get into the name. So for our, non-Ethiopian listeners, just a little bit of background on us. We are from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, born and raised.
Yes.
Yeah.
Addis girls.
Exactly.
Hey.
This podcast is really going to reflect things that we see from our eyes and our perspectives as people that were born and raised here, and of course with all the other knowledge and also kind of just like exposure we have, but really coming from those eyes. And so Gudfella is a famous Gigi song by a very talented, beautiful queen. Exactly. Another sister, a queen, a legend,
an inspiration.
And,
an amazing.
Exactly.
I don't even know how to explain her.
I know. If we got into a real Gigi conversation,
I think we need to do like a whole session on Gigi.
To be honest, she does deserve it.
Yeah, she deserves it. And that's the only way we can explain Gigi, not in like a minute. No,
yeah,
she needs like a whole hour.
Exactly. So actually, there you go. That's the first reason to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and let us know if y'all want us to do a whole episode on Gigi.
Yes.
Yes. I was like, ooh. You know what I'm saying?
I like the way you put that in.
Yeah, I was proud of myself. I was like,
that was actually cool. Yeah, so for those of you who do not know what Gudfella means, it is a phrase that we use when something, like when you're in trouble, I guess. It's like, ooh, Gudfella.
Yeah, it's like
you're about to get in trouble.
Is it just trouble though, or is just just Gudfella? Like, something is boiling, it's potting, something's happening, and like that it's could be. Yeah.
You're about to get a speech from your mom. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah,
you know, like
that is the memory.
Yeah, late, like, ooh, Gudfella. Like your mom about to give you a speech, or there's like a hot topic. Ooh, Gudfella. That sounds interesting though. Like, when Gudfella, like it has that kick to it.
It does, and it's a playful word, so I really like it. So yeah, that's the name of our podcast, guys. We got really deep into the name of our podcast.
I'm excited about it.
Clearly. So just like I said, for all our listeners that are just joining us, or I guess we're just joining, I guess, the podcast environment, right?
Vibe.
Yeah, well, the environment, the clan, the group, the homies, the podcasters. And so in that journey, just kind of explaining who we are. Like we said, we were born and raised in Addis, both really good friends that decided to come and do this together. And
who became friends and turned out to be cousins after.
Yeah, there's that too.
There's a whole history behind this.
That's another show we got to get into. Yeah. It's like Ethiopian families that don't tell you family, and you
become friends, and after like months and months and years of being friends, you find out, oh, hold up, we're cousins.
Yeah, or something bad happens, and you hook up with that person, and you're like, oh, we were cousins. So, like I said, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah. Family reunions.
They're important, guys. So yeah, just talking about how we started. Like I said, that's how we started, and we're so excited to be here. We just came into the new year. It's been a month now.
It's been a month. Yeah. Almost a month.
Yeah, almost a month now.
Better late than never. So we're gonna say Happy New Year.
Yes. Happy 2013.
Yes, 2013. Don't ask us about it. For those of you who don't know, don't ask us about it.
Go and
Google is
it.
your best friend.
We can't explain everything. Go and Google it. Ethiopia has a different New Year, a different calendar. So if you're not hip to the game, then go and Google it. And maybe if we feel like it, we will have another show on the different aspects of Ethiopia in terms of how we're so different from the world.
Yeah.
You know? She's like, I'm not explaining nothing, girl.
Yeah, you know how they say, when in doubt, Google.
When
you're confused, Google.
There you go, guys.
So, information is at your fingertips.
Stay informed, guys. Stay informed. We're still in Corona. Corona's still happening.
Hi, Rona.
And things have been kind of crazy. And I know we're all getting into the new year, but just to like kind of get into where our city is as a whole, because there's something that I thought was like really, really, really super funny is once New Year's Eve hit, everybody was like, okay, bye-bye Corona. We're just going to do us now.
That is actually the type of thing you say Gudfella to.
Really, though. It's like, okay, that's what we're doing as a city. All right.
Expiration date.
And it was all stamped. And it's like, exactly. It was like, that was the deadline for Corona.
Yep.
And it was just like, all right, next
We're
please,
out.
New year, new me, new things. And yeah, like just kind of talking about this city. Did you know or did you think that everything was just gonna pop back open, or did you think that, all right, we're gonna have a crazy New Year's Eve, or we're just gonna?
I had my expectations, but I did not think it was gonna be that crazy. Like I had my expectations. Don't worry, I do that sometimes. But so I was expecting people to be out and about, like celebrate, because you know how we celebrate New Year's, and I knew people weren't gonna sit down and just let Corona just hold them back. But I did not expect it to be like that, because there was craziness everywhere. It was just triple fireworks. Like, it was just so beautiful, though. I gotta admit, like, yes, we had to be safe, and I hope people are staying safe, but that was just beautiful. It felt like Addis again.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah. It felt like this chaotic city that we're used to again. And that I think that, you're right. Yeah. That aspect was kind of like,
it was beautiful.
Aw, my city.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think more than anything, like for me, and like you said, it was like, New Year's came and rolled, and I thought it was going to be a one-time thing where people are just like, all right, New Year's, and then maybe just at least a little bit get back into some like, okay, Corona's still here, so we're still gonna, maintain some social distancing. So like, you gotta understand too, like our friends in Nairobi and stuff have a curfew still.
Yeah.
What is a curfew?
Do we even know what a curfew is?
You know what I'm saying?
Is that even in our vocabulary dictionary now?
Who knows?
What is curfew for? Like, Saat al-Lafi or Saat Qadam?
Exactly. Okay. Either.
See, we don't use it that much. I don't even know.
It's like, I'm not even sure which one it is. But yeah, and it's like, we never really did that. And, numbers are low. And I really fully also understand that, like, maybe that's why people aren't so pressed in, I guess, being as protective. Because I think in the beginning, everybody's really scared of what this would look like in terms of, like, city and what would happen to people and what the turns out in the hospitals were and whatever. And the numbers are actually quite low. And we'll actually get into that later because we had talked about the BBC article. But numbers were low, And so with those numbers low, I think that was kind of like, all right, we got to start things fresh. And New Year's normally is a time where you're like, all right, let's shed.
Everything ends and a new year begins. That's how it always has been here. Mm-hmm. It's like
Addis
Amet, yeah. So whatever happened, there's so many cultures that we will get into some other time. But like for Addis, not just Addis, but for Ethiopians, I think when the new year hits, that is a time where everybody's like, let the past be the past and we move on forward. Mm-hmm. So we celebrate it in such a huge and such a festive way that this time it just got bigger because people have been sitting stressed and very because people haven't been celebrating anything. They weren't allowed to celebrate birthdays, weddings, but now it's just the new year has come, so we're gonna celebrate it. We're gonna have our weddings. We're gonna
call all the homies.
We're gonna eat, drink, party. Like, we're gonna have new year bring in new things for us, and even if that means we're gonna forget about Corona for a day or two, we're just gonna,
or a month, but who's counting, right? Who's counting, guys? But no, I think you really raised up a great point, because I think that is kind of what happened, is like, oh, all right, we're gonna shed, and we're gonna really shed in a different way, and we're like really gonna let go of all the stress. I was in a ride cab. For people that don't know, ride is like Uber, everywhere else. But I was in a ride car and yeah, so it was like 2 days before the new year, and the man that was driving me was talking on the phone with someone who's on loudspeaker, and he was saying, so make sure that we have the firewood, the chibo, and let's get this and that, and do we all want to chip in, or do we want to get it separately? And it was like a whole full-blown discussion about plans, to the point where I was like, whoa, did I forget? Is it this night? Like, is it tonight? I'm like, oh, is that or is it tonight? And he's like, no, it's tomorrow. I was like, oh, okay. And I guess he saw like the confusion on my face. So he's like, it's really been a hard time. And he lives in a condominium, the apartment complexes. And so he's like, no, we actually chipped in money, and we painted the whole building inside out. We all cleaned our houses, and we're all coming together to celebrate, because it's been such a trying year. Or I guess for us it was like the last 6 months, in terms of like the Ethiopian calendar, because of that they really wanted to really do it together, because it was that feeling of just like, okay, we really need to get rid of that,
to breathe, and just relax and just celebrate.
Exactly, to celebrate, to live, to be present, to be happy. And so I think it's really interesting in the context of Corona that it still played out the way it did.
It's actually amazing, because I also feel like we're such religious and very spiritual people, and also very superstitious at times, that
Absolutely.
we take these things very seriously. So for a lot of people, the same thing with the ride driver is that when we do these things and we come in and give out this positive energy that everything is just going to be okay. So New Year for most people is like that, including for me. Like, the way I saw it was, okay, we're bringing in New Year, and we're going to come in with such a positive energy that if we all do it, then we can just, delete the negativity.
So we signed a new contract, guys. A new contract.
And it actually feels like that. Actually, in some ways, I actually feel like we're managing to do that, because things are opening up. Things are getting better. More people have a smile on their face. People are starting to work, It just feels more alive. The city feels more alive after New Year than it did the past 8 months.
Kind of rearranged to a certain level of normalcy, whatever that was. No, absolutely, you're right. And I think as a city, we did kind of just retune certain things. It has been a big fear of mine that numbers are going to surge. I don't know if there has been a surge in numbers like that, not that I know of.
Not really.
Yeah, I didn't see a crazy number. So it's also interesting to see, and this is kind of where we go back to. Our numbers have been pretty low, and even there was this interesting BBC article, BBC Africa nonetheless.
I like the word interesting. I like how you used interesting.
I'm like, my mama raised me to be politically correct. So
I would have said some other thing, but I like the way you said interesting.
I use my words carefully.
Yeah.
But it was, so the article said, or the headline for the article, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I read it now, was essentially,
is poverty the reason why the corona numbers are low in Africa?
Yeah, or something like along those lines. Yeah, and really just kind of saying, I guess, there's no win, and it was really such a aggravating article.
Very disappointing, and honestly, it really, really, really pissed me off. I was really mad at the article. Like, no, seriously, like, I don't know.
I like that word better though, because I find disappointing to be a little problematic, because what's new, right?
Yeah.
Like, BBC is the BBC. It could be BBC Africa, but it still works
BBC.
with the same narrative, right? And so that's why an article like that was written, or the headline like that was written nonetheless. True. And so I don't know if it was like disappointing because I didn't find it to be shocking. It was definitely angering. Yeah, it's just like, you can't give Africa a win. Like, okay, we're relatively doing good in terms of numbers.
There's always something.
And it always has to have a negative connotation, and it's just like, it's almost like predictable at this point.
And I actually I've been meaning to Google the person that wrote the article, but for some weird reason I keep forgetting. But I actually need to do that and find out who wrote this, and
You
like,
about to
send
write
them
it.
an email or
There
something.
you go.
Yeah.
I knew it.
It's wrong.
She's about to go all in.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's almost damn near predictable at this point, the narrative that it keeps being sent on. But yeah, so again, like, you know, we're diverging and coming back, but New Year's was, you know, everybody expected a number back, there wasn't. And then after that, it's been mezcal, irecha, let's go, everybody, party, party.
And now it's gonna be more partying. Like, we celebrate a lot of things.
Yeah. I was gonna bring up something when we were talking about generally New Year's and celebrations or whatever. It is interesting because we are both in the creative community.
Yes.
And that's something that also actually in the coming podcast that we're really going to be talking about, hardships in the creative communities, experiences in the creative communities, journeys as creatives and as entrepreneurs, not the word, the freelancers. That's what I was looking for. Freelancers and the struggle with that, right? And so it is interesting because already there have been 2 or 3 events properly publicized, promoted on a concert level, an event.
There was an event at Fauna Park, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
There was another one, and then there was the Pamphilon concert.
Yeah, so I think there's about 3 proper events done. And so all this to say that like the city's really, really super opening up. So clubs, bars, restaurants have never been closed, but clubs, bars, even like event spaces with real noise going around saying, okay, hey, let's...
There's a limitation to it though, but it's still opening up.
Absolutely, right.
I honestly like it because there's a limitation, but we're not sitting no more. We get to work, and people get to have a place and events that they can go to relax. Because I think for most of us in the creative sector, we do believe that events and music and these things actually help with the mental health of people.
Absolutely.
It relaxes you and it helps you just, you know, take a breath and just let go for at least a day or a few hours. And the fact that it's opened up even with limitations, I think it's a beautiful thing for our country and for everyone in it.
I think you're absolutely, I mean, like, the thing is, I think you're right in a certain sense in terms of, like, we did need to open it up. But the reason I kind of wanted to bring up this discussion is because I actually had a discussion with a friend of mine recently because we were actually talking about the Pamphilon concert. And the discussion being, because I was actually posting it, and I actually had to delete it off my own post just because of how many people there were on my, you know, personal Instagram. And I was kind of then perplexed because I was asked a certain question. Kind of what I wanted to ask you is, as event organizers, especially as curators of events, especially at a time like Corona, do we have the responsibility or do we not have the responsibility to creating events that are a little more aware of this? So, for example, Pamphilons was done in a club, in an underground space where it was, you know, where there's not really much ventilation, everybody's in the same space like that. And then other people are attempting to do events in an outdoor space. And so someone hit me up and was just like, I completely understand no one's making money. I completely understand you gotta do what you gotta do. I completely understand X, Y, and Z. But is this something that you are aware, like you are aware of, and is something that you're concerned with? Because I had that very same concern while trying to decide
if we should do events or not.
Yeah, or what our next event was gonna be, right? And so that really kind of hit me because at times we can be very selfish in terms of just saying, oh, hey, I need to, you know, get this and get that and do this and do that and whatever. But I also feel like, and I don't know, you can disagree with me maybe, but have a certain sense of responsibility, or should have a certain sense of responsibility in terms of the spaces that we're creating and making sure that
people are safe and aware.
To a certain level, right? I don't think that it's completely realistic to say that people are going to have drinks in their hands, they're not going to be screaming and shouting.
Needs to be a balance.
You know, yeah.
It's hard. It's mostly very hard to find a balance to do these things, but I think there should be a balance. If things are opening up and people are already going out, it is our job to inform them about to take precautions, to make sure they're wearing a mask, they have their sanitizers on, they wash their hands, and every place that they go to checks their temperature. And even after that, if they feel any kind of symptoms or if they're tired that they need to go to the hospital, get checked. At the same time, if we're doing events, these are the precautions that we have to take for ourselves, because as everybody else, we have families and friends that we have to protect as much as we have to protect ourselves. And we're responsible for the people that come to the events. So by making sure at the event venue, wherever it is, whether it's in a club space or an outdoor space, we have to make sure people come in with their mask. Yes, it's hard to drink with having a mask on, but still, when you come in, at least have your mask on. Wash your hands before you come in. Make sure there are sanitizers everywhere. And there's no lack of soap or water in the bathroom.
Just facilitate.
Yeah, make
a
sure
more
everything is there.
Safe
Yeah,
environment.
create that safe environment. For me, that would be creating a balance. But like I said, it's very hard to find a balance in these things.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think that is a struggle that right now
Yeah.
a lot of curators and event organizers are facing. At least here.
It's life. It's very hard to find a balance in everything. But you have to try as much as you can. Go to at least 90% if you can't go to 100%.
I think being intentional.
Yeah.
More than anything, be intentional in what you're doing and trying
cautious.
to. I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, be cautious and also actively try. Whenever you're doing something, be intentional and say, okay, I'm going to do my best to make it the safest, most enjoyable, most experience.
No, it's the same thing as before Corona. We used to do events to make sure it's safe for the people that come. There are no fights. The women that come to the events are safe, that they're not harassed. The bartenders, the bodyguards, the staff, we made sure that everybody is in a safe environment. So now you just have to amplify that and make sure everybody is safe during a Corona time, doing events.
This is just a different struggle, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So I have another question for you.
All right.
So I'm full of questions.
I love it.
So I think that, like, for me personally, I find that the whole I guess March is when we got our first case of Corona, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just been a whole whirlwind. And like we said, a lot of the shows about like New Year's and everything. And so when the New Year came in, also I think we had personal goals, personal lessons that we learned, and yeah, I think this time really taught us so much. And I kind of wanted to delve into that because I feel that a lot of people have been going through so many changes, and I think there is a lot of positive and negatives to what Corona has taught us, and the time in which that we are living in, I guess the struggles that we're living in has really taught us and showed us. And so I just kind of wanted to see where your take and where your mind was. Let me dig in. Tell me.
There's so much you do not want to dig in.
She's like, take care, baby girl.
Be careful what you wish for. But so at first it was so depressing, I'm not gonna lie. Because for those of you who know, we started off with such an amazing, when 2012, September 11, 2012 started, and then till February we were going so well, so many plans. March, we had plans for March, April, May, everything was planned out and was going in such a beautiful way. So when Corona hit and we had our first case, it was just like, really you gonna do this? But as time went by, it just became, oh, okay, I feel you, I get you, universe. Like, I'm loving this.
I see you, universe. I see the lessons you're trying to teach me.
Yeah, I was like, I'm feeling you. And I've learned so much. I've grown so much. For me, I feel like I've grown so much. I've learned and I've unlearned a lot of things. The main thing being that it's okay to lose people. That people come and people go. But whenever you lose someone, a lot more come. So that was the main lesson I learned. And before I was like, I felt bad when people left my life. I was like, no, like I want you to stay. No, don't leave.
Yeah,
like
just really holding on to it.
Always checking up, like being there. But now I feel like I was forcing friendships. I was forcing relationships. And now I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna try my best, but
it's called growth, boo.
Yeah, it's
called
okay.
Growth, girl.
We're not on the same level. We're not on the same wavelength anymore. So I wish you all the best. I love you, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean that
we gotta share space or energy for that matter. Yeah,
so I'm just like, I love my own space. I'm learning that I love my own space. I love giving out positive energy, and I do not like negative energy because it drains me. Literally. Whew, it drains me.
It's like just talking about it overwhelmed her.
But and then I've realized within the past, I don't know, 8 months I think now. Would it be 8 months, right? So I've gotten to know more about the people around me, and I've started falling in love with the people around me and everything, my city, the world, my mind. It's just, I feel at peace and I love it. It's a happy place to be.
I love it. I love it. That sounds absolutely amazing. I think at peace is what a lot of us strive for, and I don't know if it's always attainable, but that's definitely a state of mind that I think a lot of us are really all searching for ultimately, is to find
a center.
Exactly. I'm so glad that you brought those things up. It's so, I relate on so many levels. Like, I think for me, more than anything, I did not know that I was such a control freak.
Are you though?
You know, I think I am. Okay,
I still haven't seen that side of you, so well.
You know, I guess what I mean to say
is,
what I mean to say is, I want my life in a certain manner, and I guess I've always kind of had an imagination of my life and how it would go, and you know what I would be doing in certain times, and it was hit so hard that, like you said in the beginning, it was so depressing. It was really so hard, and it's okay to say that. And sometimes I don't know if we know that it's okay to say that. But it was really, really tough. And like people that even like, if you know me personally on social media, like I was even sharing that at some point, like, yo, is everybody also okay? Because I'm just like, this can't be just me. And everybody I'm talking to is also saying, no, girl, I feel it too. And I kind of had to make that space a little bit wider and see really how people were feeling. And I think that's why even the idea of like mental health and talking about mental health, actually, I at least sought more I guess more communication and more real conversations around that in the time of Corona. Yeah, because it was so, or I say in the time of Corona, like Corona's done. Look at me.
Is that on this thing?
You know, I'm talking about it like it's something past. But yeah, I think that was really important. And I learned that I am a little bit of a control freak, and it taught me more than anything that you have no control over anything, and the universe will do as it pleases. And it's not to say that like we shouldn't be active participants in our life, but also to say that there's some things that are beyond our control, and sometimes we don't know how to let go because we're so used to trying to maneuver things in a certain way. And I really had to sit my ass down for 6-7 months to really learn that lesson. I'm still learning that lesson, and you know, it really is becoming an eye-opening thing for me, and really making me also change the way I value things, the way I see things. Yeah. Another thing that I learned that I think is so amazing is to calm down and to not be in such a hurry. As soon as it hit, I realized that my life was
in such a rush.
Yeah, like
what was it? Rush like Indomie?
Rush like Indomie, girl. We're about to get all kinds of sponsors, man. I like the plugins. Like these like cute plugins are so working for me. But yeah, no, absolutely. And it was such a rush, and I was like, oh no, wait. I'm ultimately working, living, striving to make my life better. If I don't have the time to do what I want to do and enjoy it and live it the way I want to, what's even the point? And it really has, I'm shifting now my idea of what success looks like, what happiness looks like, what my future is going to look like, and the things that I really hold dear to, or I thought I did. And like unlearning and relearning that. And even just taking time to just listen to your mind in such, I guess, chaotic spaces that we usually are in, because our lives are such a rush, and we're always full of so much energy from other people, from ourselves, from the universe. Actively doing things all day means that you are always exchanging energy, right? Back, forth.
And not even giving yourself time to just take a minute and breathe.
Yeah, and like, you know, I started yoga in the morning, started giving myself like 10-15 minutes. She's like, my girl, no. But everyone has a ritual. Like you stretch in the mornings in bed.
I stretch in the morning,
and that's your thing. Like, but for that moment, it's just you and Adiam time.
Yeah, and my music.
Yeah, you know, and it's just about what you want to do. And I didn't know that I didn't even do that for myself, because I think the first couple of times I started, I would be sitting there doing yoga. It's 10 minutes, sis, like 10 minutes, and I'll be in such a rush to get it done, to go do things. I didn't have anything to do. I was gonna go sit, but my mind couldn't register that, and
because you're so used to running.
Yeah, just having to
be in so many different places in like less than 24 hours.
Exactly, and so I was like, okay, no, you're gonna have to sit for 1 second, and these 10 minutes are going to be spent on you, and you focusing on your body, on your mind, and taking time. And it really started to change my days. Like,
do you recommend that?
I would actually, to a lot of people. You know what, and this is my personal recommendation. I'm glad you asked that, actually. I'm someone that used to really love being active in general. I didn't necessarily like gyms, but I was a very active person. I danced a lot. I did taekwondo. I like playing volleyball, ground tennis. I just like being active. But I never liked the idea of it feeling like work. And that's why I guess I never really got into like physical fitness like that. But yoga was nice because I started in my own home. I started it for beginners. I did it because my body felt right. And I didn't push myself because there was no end goal. The end goal ultimately was to find something to do that gave me peace of mind. And so I was like, my whole thing was like, okay, have a little more energy, stretch your body, you're gonna be sitting all day. And the intention was never to lose weight or to get stronger. Like there was no end
just
goal.
to relax.
Yeah, and so I found that the process was so much more enjoyable, and now I'm actually genuinely into it. Like, we were here last time trying to record the podcast and we ended up doing yoga in the place that we're recording right now.
Well, she did yoga, I stretched.
She was there for some of it, and then
Yeah,
she started stretching on her own vibe. It's okay, see?
I do my own thing.
Exactly. She's the rebel that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so it just became a desirable thing. So if it's not necessarily to achieve a certain goal and you are just trying to get into something, it worked for me. I don't know, like, I'm just giving you advice based on me, but it did work that it wasn't so goal oriented, and that it was just about me feeling good, and that made it so much more enjoyable as a whole experience.
I think it's very important, especially for a person like me who goes in and out of depression sometimes. I think it's very important that you take 10 minutes or 15 minutes of your day just to breathe and relax and center yourself. And for me, it's stretching and listening to music. For you, it's yoga. For it could be anything for you. Mm-hmm. It could be just sitting, not doing nothing. Mm-hmm. But I think it's very important for everybody to just take a minute, 10 to 15 minutes for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very important.
And preferably in the morning, because that's really what sets off the rest of your day.
Yeah. Or before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Too.
You know,
whichever works.
Whatever works for you. So yes, oh my God. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. So we have our YouTube, SoundCloud, and Instagram channel up right now.
Yeah.
We'll get into other channels as well. Yeah. But for now, it's just YouTube, SoundCloud.
And our SoundCloud.
And follow us on Instagram.
Yes, at _Gudfella. _Gudfella. And make sure y'all subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your loved ones. This was the beginning of our show, and we really just kind of wanted to ease in so you guys know who we are. And then after this, it's just about to get funky, spicy, saucy, and all those good things and some more.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about stuff that's going to make you say, good
fella.
Wait.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be our sign out. But make sure exactly to give us some love. And yeah, we love y'all.
We love y'all. I'm Adia.
I'm Milu. Bye.